Does my mic sound okay?
Dude, you sound fantastic.
Okay,
And
awesome. Great.
look, I don't want to start off with too many compliments, but you look fantastic. All right.
Well,
You got a fantastic shirt on. And usually, generally, we're pretty proud of our studio. It's nice and clean and neat, and it looks pretty professional. But look at your just spread of awesomeness in the background.
yeah, it's my little home studio here, and I was like, well, you know how it is these days. You do a lot of Zoom calls in my line of work, and I was like, well, I'll at least make it look half decent behind me, not just a pile of junk. That's the other wall. The wall you can't see is where I throw all the junk in the corner.
I remember we did one with Claudio from Coheed, and he was
Yeah.
in his little home studio, and it was just gear from wall to wall. And he's like, I can't really make it look neat. He goes, so it just is what it is.
Yeah. No, I have this room, which is like my studio room, which kind of nice. Like I use
Yeah.
for recording and writing. Then I have my other room that's like just full of drums and amps and it's a total mess in there. But that's where I like to go and usually it's my nephews. They go in there and they crank it up real loud and we make a
Hell
ton of
yeah.
and scare the neighbors a little bit.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Are they all gig posters that you've got on the back of the wall there?
Yeah, yeah, it's like all old flyers, mostly like hardcore and punk shows, a lot of which I attended as a kid, which is cool. There's
Nice.
there's some that I was actually at. A lot of them are from Toronto, but um yeah, they're all different. There's no repeats and there are
Wow.
216 of them.
Wow. Jeez.
Yes.
That's
I did that.
cool. Do you have
It
a
was a whole project to do it. Yeah.
it's good that you've just used old ones because if you kept collecting the ones that your band is doing now, I don't think you'd need a little bit more real estate for that, I reckon.
Yeah, no, none of them. I don't know if there's any. There might be one or two that are my band was involved with, but most of them are like older ones or like some random stuff up there. But yeah, it's cool. It's you can kind of stare at it for like you could look at it for like an hour, and find like I still see stuff I haven't seen before when I look at the wall.
That's
So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say, dude. I was gonna be like, do you ever look at it and be like, oh fuck, I forgot about that band. Like, where are they now?
yes, all the time. There's still some that I'm like, you know what? Like there's a couple bands that have like this is back in like before my time. Some of them are like, from the 80s, like old Black Flag shows and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
cool.
And there's like a few, and I'll be like, I gotta check out this band. Like this band opened for Black Flag and Descendants and like all these. I'm like, I gotta dig this up and see. It's probably something I would like.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy. It's crazy, like because you've been around for a while, you've been doing this thing for a while, and even just as a fan of music that's been following, especially this scene since its early explosion with bands like The Used and yourselves.
Hmm.
It's crazy to go back. I was looking through a magazine yesterday because I had a chat with Bert from The Used, and I was showing him an
Nice.
interview that I did 20 years ago as a competition winner. And then I was just flicking through the magazine after it, going, fuck, like, this is such a trip to see how music media has changed, how
Yeah.
we look, like, how reviews and consumption of music has completely changed. I mean, that was how we found music. We looked through a magazine, we looked at what looked like the coolest band with the coolest band shirts. We went to our record store and we said, have you got this band? And then we put the album on to
Yep.
listen to.
I know. Kids these days don't know how easy they got it, man. Like you
Yeah.
had a hunt for stuff, man. Like I would, and you guys are in Australia. I grew up in Canada. It's like a little off the beaten path. Like it's not as easy, I think, in the US, like with distribution and like
Yeah.
finding records and stuff. And a lot of stuff in Canada, at least, was like super, super expensive. And yeah, I mean, I would hear about a band like usually it was like in an interview or something. Like some
Yeah.
band would be talking about some and I'm like, well, I gotta go hear what this Minor Threat band is all about, and then go to the store and find the Minor Threat CD and like you just had to buy it. Like there was no way to listen to it
Yeah. Yeah.
without
It was
buying
just
it.
take a
And
gamble. You can't
yeah,
just
you had to invest. Yeah, for real.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I was talking about this yesterday. Do you think that it's kind of made music today, in a way, a little bit more throwaway because
Yes.
people have that control over songs? They can pick and choose, and it's
Yeah, I
harder
know.
to
It's
find a song that's going to stand the test of time.
everything about it feels like kind of cheaper and it really isn't. I think music today is better than it's ever been. I think there are more bands putting out incredible records than ever before. It's just like now there are so much shit out there
Yeah,
that it's hard to find the really, really good, amazing stuff because it's so easy for a band to record now too.
yeah,
Like I can record like just in this bedroom that I'm in, I could record an album that would sound like a totally professional recording for free. You know
yeah,
what I mean? I could do that. And I'm not special. Like this is happening all over the world. People are making records for nothing and that's leading to a lot of great stuff. You know, um not to mention like just being able to put it on the internet for free and have it on an
yeah.
app that for $10 anyone will listen to it. But like, it's leading to a lot of crap out there, but also some of the best music we've ever heard that is also available to everybody. So it's really a blessing and a curse. But I know
Yeah.
what you mean, man. It does feel like records like the shelf life of things is quicker and people listen to something once and then kind of on to the next thing and it'll be interesting to see what records from this time now are going to
Yeah.
be the ones that in 20 years get the 20-year tours and and that really like what's going to have the staying power long term.
Dude, 100%. I think the only saving grace at the moment, like there's a couple of really positive points, is that uh, it's easier for bands to get exposure now. So you don't have all these really great bands that faded into obscurity after one EP because no one gave them the time of day.
Yeah.
If they can get out there and be on an artist radio or shared on someone's playlist, great. The other good thing, from the perspective of the dudes who have been around for a while, like you and I, vinyl's coming back. It's a big thing. People are actively spending money on getting that
Oh
artwork,
yeah.
getting that physical copy, and you
Yep.
have to listen to it the whole way through.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, it never left.
Yeah,
And it's funny, even, back in the 90s when vinyl was like, in the mainstream, it was dead. Like
yeah,
most major label records they didn't put out vinyl. But, Fat Records did, Epitaph did, like those labels, Victory Records did. And, what was funny was I bought a lot of vinyl records back then because they were cheaper than CDs.
yeah.
So that's like so funny to think about, because now CDs are like kind of throwaway. Although I think CDs are kind of coming back too, which is weird.
Yeah, I
Um,
think they are.
but never vinyl never left for me. And in fact, what's really funny is our first contract that we signed with Victory, even though it was a bad deal and we maybe shouldn't have signed it, one thing that we insisted on was that our albums would come out on vinyl. That was in our contract because that's how important vinyl was to us.
Very
And
smart.
we're all vinyl collectors and we have a lot of fans that are too. So yeah, it's great to see and yeah, it's cool that, it's even more prevalent now.
Yeah,
Almost every album comes out on vinyl except the prices are kind of absurd now.
they are. They
Like
are.
like
Now,
I'll be at a record store, I'll be like, wait. $45. It's not even like a
dude, yeah.
double, like a gatefold. It's just one disc and it's $45. Or I'm like, what the hell? Yeah,
Look,
it's a little absurd.
I'd be lying if I had said I hadn't paid close to $100 for some vinyl in Australia. It's wild.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't even imagine. But yeah, I mean, shit. Go to Australia, fucking paid $20 for Subway. It's
That is
nuts.
true. Yeah.
Nuts.
Now, you said a moment ago that you don't consider yourself special. I want to blow smoke and agree to disagree on that one. Now, we've checked out a lot of Silverstein on this channel. We will
Yeah, I've
always
watched
check
a
out your
couple
videos.
videos. Thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. But dude, honestly, what we say on every video is essentially we're sounding like a broken record. Is that you guys just you don't miss. It's insane to me that you may not have been one of the biggest names when this explosion began early on,
Right. No.
but you 100% proved yourselves to be one of, if not the most consistent bands to come out of that scene. Dude, what's the secret? You guys have managed to stay in your lane while continuously pushing the boundaries and the sound of the band. And you just, as far as we can see, the trajectory is just still going up.
Yeah. No, thank you. And it's always hard for me to answer that kind of a question because like I'm not in other bands. I've never really been in other bands. So like I just know how our band operates and what we do and the work that we put in with every record, with every song. And basically like it's got to be really, really fucking good. Like every song. And there's no part where we go, well, that's part's okay. We'll leave it in. Like, no, there's no room for mediocrity
Yeah.
in in my any band that I'm in. Like, it's got to be amazing. Every part has to like make sense and be awesome. And then you go from song to song, and everything has to flow. And there's a lot of moving parts with I guess any band, but how we work on our own music that um you have to be on top of that stuff and you can't phone it in like ever. And we don't
Yeah.
phone it in ever. And the other thing too is like we're releasing like I don't even know how many records because I don't even know which ones like we count as full lengths or whatever, but like basically we have like a dozen albums now.
Yeah.
And dude, it does not get easier to make records. It does not get easier to write them. It does not get easier to record them. It does not get easier. And
Take note, kids.
you get older and you have more shit going on and like
Yeah.
all of it is harder and you know what you got to do, you got to work harder and you got to put way more time into it. And that's the secret, I think, if anything, is just like you have to work on it, you have to continue to put in that time even though time becomes scarcer as you go on as a
Yeah,
band.
I
you know?
suppose it's one of those things, once you're afforded the luxuries of having a bit of a name and knowing that, well, at least when we put something out, there's going to be eyes and ears on it because we've earned that. At least we know that when we announce a tour, there's going to be people coming through the door.
Right.
But it does put that pressure, like you said, to work harder because by that stage, once you've written 250 songs, you have to keep writing songs that make you feel the way
Hmm.
that they made you feel, on the last 10 albums and then have to try and sort of navigate, is this going to make the fans feel that way as well?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think our fans have grown up with us, and it's nice to see. Because every album, we take a couple steps away from where we were before.
Yes.
We don't run away from where we were before. We don't go miles and miles away from where we were before, but we take steps. We have that progression. And I feel like every time, we move a little bit, our fans move with us to where, you when you go from album 1 to album 12, okay, we've gone like a pretty far distance. And if you compare those albums, it's like, oh wow, is this even the same band? But at the
Yeah.
same time, when you go from album to album to album to album, and our fan base is with us and they understand what we're doing and they understand that it makes sense and everything kind of lines up, then, we've really just kept everybody here on this journey with us. And, that's it's a beautiful thing, when we play shows to see, people coming back again and again and the shows continue to grow and then there's younger people in the crowd and it's like okay like whatever we're doing
Is working.
is
Yeah.
working you
Yeah.
know and sometimes like it doesn't always feel that way at any given point. And you mentioned us not being the biggest band in the scene back when you had those huge records coming out and songs on the radio, and we were never on the radio. Like we had a couple like they played us on MTV in the middle of the night a couple times, things like that. But like we were kind of we were a little bit below, we weren't on the cover of that many magazines like The Used or you brought up The Used or, Taking Back Sunday or those
Yeah.
bands, great bands that we loved and still to this day, I think made amazing records that are going to stand the test of time, forever, but we weren't right there with them. And it's funny because like now I think in people's minds we were, or like the history is like
Yeah.
written differently now to where
I
it's like,
think it's
well, they're
also,
big now. They must have been as big back then or bigger back then. It's like, not really, we kind of bigger now than we've ever been.
feel free to go back and keep buying them and boost the sales and get the play. But I also think it's because of the consistency in you guys sticking around and standing the test of time throughout a scene that has gone through some pretty shitty moments, some pretty big lulls, you know what I mean, where guitar driven music
Yeah.
was not at the forefront in any capacity. But
Yeah.
to still persist where other bands may have fallen away or not been able to cope with it, and then again to get through things like COVID and keep being consistent, the work ethic is definitely something to be proud of, and it's obviously reaping the benefits because people are still here, man. Like we see it
Yeah.
in the comments, we see it in the requests. New Silverstein, new Silverstein.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, that's fantastic, and it's great now that we've set, a high standard for ourselves to where, people go, well, I love their last record and I love their old stuff, so I'm gonna actually check out, their new
Yeah,
single or their new record. Where some bands, I don't want to name names, but like the records are kind of getting worse and worse, and it's becoming a bit sad to where there's no fucking way. So there's some of their fans are like, even they're like, oh god, here we go again. Like I don't even want to listen to this because I know it's going to be bad. That is a reality of a lot of artists that last more than 2 decades or whatever it is. So yeah,
yeah.
I think that, like, thank you for saying that and shining a light on that. That's something that we've always been proud of. Even people were saying this about us when we were on like record 4, being like, oh, they never missed,
Mm.
and it's like that's cool. And now here we are, over 10 records later, and
And
it's
still with more shit coming out, man. And honestly, like
yeah,
some of the
thank you.
best
And
stuff you've written.
for real. And we also think that, um and like yeah, it's been great to have that the last few records just feel like we're ramping it up again. And yeah,
Yeah.
like to be able to deliver 2 records this year, it's really, really awesome. And the shows have been great, and like we really have nothing to complain about at all right now.
In saying that the shows are great, you are headed back to Australia very, very soon.
Yeah.
Very excited about that.
Yeah, it's
It's
coming up
it's
quick. We're
dude,
like
it
what,
is.
2 weeks away? I mean, not even. It's
Yeah,
kind of crazy.
yeah. You probably haven't even packed yet.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a night before kind of guy with that. Yeah.
You've been doing it long enough. You'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
And bringing real friends with you, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Our friends and
Fantastic,
real
man.
friends. They really are. Wow. We never toured with them before, and then
Oh,
we brought them on some US dates just like a couple months ago. And man, they're awesome. Like just great live band, really good songs. Like they're they have their crowd goes nuts for them.
yeah.
Like it's like, oh, it's a pop punk band. It's like sometimes you see the crowd and it's like, okay, people are full on moshing for this band. Like I don't know what it is. They have like a really cool energy. So yeah, it's an exciting one to have to bring all the way over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we feel like it's been ages since we've seen you. But also at the same time, it feels like you guys have always given Australia a lot of love. You've been out
Oh
here
yeah.
quite a few times. Are you giving yourself any downtime here? What's something you're looking forward to? And what's your way to combat both the extremely fucking ridiculous flight and the extremely ridiculous jet lag?
Yeah, both are bad. We've made it maybe a little bit easier on ourselves because we're roping this tour in with the Warp Tour in LA.
Oh, cool.
So we're a little bit closer to Australia, in it being in LA for a couple days, and then it's only one flight, to go
Nice.
from I think we're flying into Melbourne. So it's just one flight instead of, at least two, which definitely makes a big difference. And yeah, the jet lag, there's not really much you can do about it. I find usually the travel is so crazy that you don't even really know which way is up when you get there, and you're so tired that I find the jet lag is way worse when I come home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
You
that
also don't have
direction around the earth is harder
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
You
But
also don't have the adrenaline of having something to look forward to. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're
true.
trying
Yeah.
to get straight back. But when you hear, like, right, we got a show in a day, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Let's get
No.
everything sorted.
No, exactly. But our Australian history, it's been, pretty awesome. Like, the last couple of years we haven't been there as much. We did the tour opening for Amity Affliction, which was like really that's like the best tour we could get, and they treated us like absolute gold. Just best guys. Um, but going back to our first time in Australia was 2005. So this is actually the 20th anniversary of our first time. there. And it
Jeez.
was around this time of year too. I think we came in your winter. And right away, it was really crazy, like how people just knew our band, loved our band. We're so excited we were there. And at this time, we're like, how do people even know our shit? It was crazy to think we're so far from home, we were really like, people are gonna like, we were like, oh, destroy all lines. They're like paying money. They're buying our flights to get us over there. We're like, we thought we were like scamming them, at the time. And then we came here and the shows were all sold out, and we're like, oh, okay. And then after that, it was like we just came back as much as we could. It's like, you want to come tour with I Killed the Prom Queen? Yes, we do. You want to come back and tour with Set Your Goals and Amity Affliction again? I was like, yeah, we'll come back. And we came back like maybe almost too much. Um, and then the Soundwave festivals were so good. Like I was like,
Yeah, dude.
oh, I'll never
Yeah.
forget. Those were epic. And yeah, so we've had an amazing history. We have so many friends in Australia. And yeah, it's really just exciting to come back every single time. And yeah, it's something that we definitely like really, really fought to do on this tour cycle
Yeah. Good.
because we weren't sure we were going to be able to do the
Yeah.
25 Years of Noise tour in Australia, and it like didn't feel right to do a
Right.
world tour and somehow omit you guys. So yeah, so we're really
Yeah.
happy it could work out. Sadly, no Western Australia. We are really sorry to the fine people of Perth, but and Fremantle, but we will be back. And I think this is the first time we've left Perth out, so we are
Oh,
sorry.
wow. Well,
We
you know
always
what though?
try. This time
Yeah,
it wasn't in the cards.
dude, they can suck it up then. They can take the 4 hour flight across the country because
Right. And
the fact that you guys have been there so much when some bands, and look, this is not a slide on those bands. It's not an easy fucking country to tour. You got all these shows down one side of the country, and then you got to go 6 hours across to do one show. It's
yeah,
it's
it's
not easy.
no for real. I mean, and it's even just the East Coast and the south of the country is like hard enough, really. I mean,
Mm,
we've done driving tours too. We've
yeah,
done it, and we've done that like wake up in the morning and drive from frickin' Sydney to Brisbane and play that
yeah,
night. We have done that. So we've paid our Australian dues, I guess. But
100%.
yeah, it's no, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I hope people come out and hang out with us and real friends, and it's gonna be the best Silverstein show you've ever seen, guaranteed. And yeah, it's this is one you don't want to miss.
Hell yeah, we will definitely be there. Now, just before you go, couple of last things. You've had one thing that Silverstein has been able to do really well over the last, well, ages is the collaborative guests that you have on the tracks.
Right,
You
yeah.
take them from left of field, you take them from current, you take them from, like a little bit more nostalgic. It's awesome, man, because you guys really do know how to do justice to the songs with using those artists.
Mhm.
What I want to
Yep.
know is who's on the hit list? Who would be dream collaborations for you that you haven't got
Dude,
yet?
it depends on the song. We don't go after the artist or the guest vocalist or whatever and then say, okay, where can we squeeze this in? Where can we
Right.
maybe like, shoehorn this guy or girl into the song because it's like a big name or a friend or something. We never do that. We have
Do you think that that's
songs.
do you think that's a mistake that some bands make? Because some of them
Yeah,
clearly
all
sound
the
like it's just
time.
we've just copy pasted them for
All the
this one little
time.
section.
Or like they somebody will have a song, right? And they'll have somebody in mind for a part, and then they can't do it. And then they'll be like, okay, and then they'll go to someone else, and then they
Yeah.
can't do it. And then by the time it's like the third or fourth choice, it's just not the right song. It's not the right vibe for the song anymore.
Yeah.
And whenever we get to that point, we just scrap it completely. Either I do it or we just don't use it, and that's it. And so like with we've been pretty lucky over the years, whether it was like Aaron from Under Oath, like crushing that part on Infinite, or most recently Rory from Dayseeker. Like we were like, it's got to be Rory, and luckily we know him well. He's a fan of our band, and we hit him up, and he was really excited to do it. So we've been really lucky with that part, but it has happened a couple times. where we've really just been like, okay, this just Shane, you do it because
Yeah.
we haven't got the right person. Because it's there's nothing worse than than it being wrong for the song. So yeah, but so to answer your question, I don't know. It's going to depend on the song. Um, I think the one guy we've been like maybe waiting to call in the favor is Tim from Rise Against.
Oh.
He's a good buddy, and I love his voice. It's unique. Like when
Mm.
you hear him, you know it's him. But until we have that perfect song, then we won't
I
even
love
ask
that,
to
dude.
try.
I love the fact that you're able to sit there and just, honestly say if they're not right for the song, then we're not going to do it. Because
Yeah.
it's so
No.
easy to just name grab. Not that you guys need it because you're well established, but it's so easy to name grab and just be like, oh, we got this big vocalist on this song, just to help boost I guess like
Oh, for
reception.
sure. And I get that that's the game that a lot of artists play, and like it's okay, sometimes it's great. But yeah, when you're forcing something, just I think it's bad if you're forcing it and it's obvious. So,
Yeah.
we've done entire albums with no features because either none of the songs we just couldn't hear anything in any of the songs, or timing wasn't right or whatever, and we just said, it's fine. And you know, did that ultimately mean less people listen to a song or not? Like, I don't know, maybe, but like, hey, we're still here, and
Yeah.
I think it's the sum of the parts at the end of the day that's most important, and you know, the one hit or one song that happens to have streamed a couple million more,
Yeah, for sure.
in the grand scheme, who gives a shit,
100%. All right, one last one, dude. Now, I know that you're a man with an eclectic taste. I want to know if you were to put together your dream five band festival lineup, Shane
Uh-huh.
Fest or Told Fest.
Shane Fest, Told Fest.
Yeah, we told you so. Who would it be? They can be current bands, they can be nostalgia bands, they can be alive, dead, cancelled, whatever you want.
Okay.
You guys
Well,
don't have to play it either.
yeah, I think if it's bands I'm picking, I want to watch them all. So, I don't think I can you know, okay. Well, let's think headliners. I don't know. Um Maybe like Metallica but playing Master of Puppets in full.
Ooh, you reckon Lars is getting through that?
Well, maybe we can have a fill in for a couple songs here and there. I don't know. Yeah. No. Yeah, maybe I think next year is going to be Master of Puppets 40th anniversary. I would
Holy
like to see
fuck.
that. I'm being way too real about this. Like this is all hypothetical, but yeah. I think it's
No, I love it.
86, right? So yeah, that would be 40. Yeah, anyway. So I'd love to see that because there's like Metallica's the reason I play music, and if they were, to do a full album, which I don't think I've ever heard them do, Master Puppets. Oh my God, be insane.
Yeah.
All right, who else we got? Now we're gonna switch gears. How about Lord opening? I really I
Wow.
have like I have I really think she's awesome. Yeah,
I was going to say, we're
some
talking
of her
Room
records
Lord.
and some of her songs are like insanely good.
Yeah.
Like whoa, how did you write this? Yeah, so that's gonna be a weird direct support, but I don't care. It's Shane Fest.
I was going to
Um,
say, we're going to have Real Lord or South Park Randy Marsh Lord.
I haven't seen South Park in like a decade, so I
Uh,
don't know if I know your reference, but
there's a whole thing where they work out that like Randy Marsh, one of the dads, is actually Lord, and he just records it in his basement and then just changes it to sound like Lord. It's so
that's
stupid that it's
absurd.
amazing.
That is absurd. Um, okay. All right. We got so we got Metallica Lord. And how about a newer band, a bit smaller, but I do love them a lot these days. The Callous Cowboys
Oh
put out
yeah,
an absolutely incredible album recently that I'd love to shine a little bit of light on. Yeah, Carson's my boy, and they are just a great band doing something that no one else is doing. It's real wild. So I love them. You said five.
yep. You got three so
Hmm.
far.
I got three so far. Um, Well, how about, there's an Australian band that I really like. We got to do some shows with. They're called Bloom.
Bloom, Jono's our boy.
Bloom.
We love those guys.
Oh man, aren't they a great band?
So
Really
great. And
cool. Like they're mixing this kind of like modern, modern sound with like throwback at the same time. It
yeah,
feels new, but it's kind of like it feels, I don't know, nostalgic at the
almost
same time.
it's
I
almost
love the
like
band.
a early 2000s meets shoegaze meets counterparts.
Yeah, that's totally it. Yeah, it really is really great. And for the opener, I'm gonna go with an artist that probably most people don't know.
Oh,
They
okay,
are a
okay.
band out of California, new band unsigned called Tarnish. Check them out, Tarnish. Kind of like Story So Far, little
Oh,
bit. Also from Northern California, so maybe that's the comparison. But yeah, really good, kind of like hard like pop punk, hardcore adjacent ish stuff. Really good lyrics. Yeah, so check them out too.
we will go and check them
Tarnish,
out.
great name too. Check them out.
Yeah, it's a great name. Yeah,
There you go.
awesome.
So
That is
Metallica is headlining with Lord, the Callista Boys, Bloom, and Tarnish. Now, if that isn't eclectic, I don't know what it is. What is?
yeah, that's like it's essentially a mini Coachella.
Very many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Coach. Oh man, Coachella's all over the place. I like the last time I looked at a Coachella lineup, and I don't know if this is you know dating myself. I knew like literally less than 10 artists on the whole thing.
Oh god. Yeah, dude,
I
I
don't
did
know
the
any.
same.
Who are these people? It's wild. I am like completely out of touch, I guess, or just I don't know. I don't know where they come from. I don't know who listens to them, but yeah.
Yeah, but like 100,000 people turn up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I know Green
Wait,
Day.
yeah. Are we the old man shakes fist at cloud now? Is that us?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm alone. I think yeah, I don't think I'm alone in this. I think a lot of people agree with me, probably regardless of your age, like even people that are 10, 15, maybe even 20 years younger than me, but like,
Yeah.
hey, whatever,
Oh,
man. It's
whatever.
it's 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 good. People go, all
Yeah.
right? As long as people are going, I think it's good for us musicians in the
A
scene.
100%, dude. Well, dude, thank you so much. It goes without saying, we're huge fans of the band. We're like huge fans of your podcast as well. You know,
Thanks, man.
it's one
Yeah.
of the huge inspirations for us pushing
Oh,
just
cool.
from reactions into what we do, going to more of long form and media style. So thank you for that. And we've been trying to make this happen for a while. I'm really stoked that it was able to finally
Yeah.
happen. My
Of
missus
course,
couldn't even
man.
get
I'd
me.
love to come back, and we can chat about something, something freaking random or expand this out, whatever you want to do. Anytime, man.
Dude, for sure. Let's try and hook up in Sydney and do something
Yeah.
fun.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
All
Tim. I'll
right.
see you
Yep.
soon.
Thanks, Johnny.
Peace.